Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine has been plagued by military failures and embarrassments which are set to continue with staggering losses and dwindling weapon stocks, says head of GCHQ. Sir Jeremy Fleming is due to give a speech on Tuesday in which he will publicly announce that Ukrainian forces are overwhelmingly winning the battle both physically and virtually. The speech will also see the spy chief announce that Russia is struggling with the economic and human cost of the conflict. According to Sir Jeremy, Moscow is suffering staggering losses both from troops who have been killed and equipment which has been destroyed. The speech will note that Ukrainian troops are successfully turning the tide in the conflict. The intelligence officer will critique the Russian president's decision-making, calling it flawed, after it failed to take Kyiv within the first few days of the conflict and not making the progress he aimed for in the east of Ukraine. Sir Jeremy will say, "It's a high-stakes strategy that is leading to strategic errors in judgment. Their gains are being reversed. The costs to Russia, in people and equipment, are staggering. We know, and Russian commanders on the ground know, that their supplies and munitions are running out." He will continue, "Russia's forces are exhausted. The use of prisoners to reinforce, and now the mobilization of tens of thousands of inexperienced conscripts, speaks of a desperate situation." Despite both Russian and Ukrainian forces being exhausted by the conflict, Ukrainian troops and civilians have consistently shown more resilience, defiance, and morale. The intelligence officer's speech will mainly focus on the threat of China in terms of its exploitation of online technologies and those in space which pose a threat to us all. The speech will focus largely on the threat of China, but Sir Jeremy will note how the Chinese Communist Party is learning the lessons from Putin's invasion of Ukraine. The director of GCHQ will speak at the Royal United Services Institute in London to analyze Putin's decisions in Ukraine and how the West's retaliation is teaching Beijing about the West. In response to the sanctions being seen placed on Russia from the West, Sir Jeremy will say how China may learn to use digital currencies to not only track people's transactions but to also protect its economy from such sanctions as in Russia. It is also a concern that China is gradually preparing for an invasion of Taiwan and may have learned from Russia to support its defenses against Western response.